It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Okay, basketball fans, with me, Kenny the Jet Smith, Shaquille O'Neal, I'm Ernie Johnson. You're watching 2K Sports, but you know that already. In this game,
Welcome, sports fans. Thanks for joining us. It's the NBA on 2K Sports. Kevin Harlan here with Greg Anthony and a pair of Hall of Famers with us, Doris Burke and David Aldridge. Looking at the last game for the Phoenix Suns, it was a win against the Pacers in Indiana. And they finished that one out up 4. Competitive, but ultimately they prevailed.
Yeah, unfortunately for them, I thought the opponent's defense just never showed up.
I mean, you'd have to question their effort, Greg. They did a great job at penetrating and kicking out. The defense simply wasn't up to the task.
You've got a chance here to set the floor, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go for this one. Setting the floor for the Suns, they've got JaVale McGee. Collins is out there with Durant. Then it's Zach LaVine, and it's Dinwiddie in at the point. We're right around the halfway point of the season, Doris. This is often when we see the better teams really begin to shift gears and surge ahead.
Yeah, we certainly have a better feel for who the contenders might be. We still have a long way to go, obviously, and teams will have some lulls and then some high points, and you've got to be able to weather all of those things. But the reality is we have a greater understanding of who has the necessary offensive and defensive components to compete at a championship level.
Now let's find out what head coach Scott Brooks had to say to David Aldridge. D.A.?
Thanks, Kevin. He talked about the challenge tonight defensively and going up against a team that can really execute. He said those guys make the most of every possession. They cut to the basket, move the ball well. We have to make them take difficult, contested shots to give ourselves the best chance to win. We know how hard that is to accomplish, Kevin. Back to you.
Thanks for the report, David. So it's about one key area, guys, keeping the opposing field goal percentage to a minimum.
And, Kevin, that's not an easy task against an opponent that can shoot the ball as well as this team can.
Well, true, Greg, but they can do it as long as they're quick with their defensive help on the perimeter, and I think a key to that, communication.
Phoenix with the ball, following the miss by Tyler Ulis. Dinwiddie kicks to Collins. McGee trying to break free. Shot by Collins, no good. For Baltimore, they've gone 1 of 3 from the field to start this one so far. Thomas gets a wide open look. Again, the miss by Baltimore. The Suns have gone 3 of 4 from the field to start out the game. This arena in downtown Phoenix opened in 1992. Doris, in 2022, they can opt out of their lease. Otherwise, they'll be locked in for another 10 years.
Well, they're currently playing in the 6th oldest NBA arena, and the Suns are hoping to either renovate that building or build a brand new one. The question becomes, of course, who pays for it?
Here's Van Vliet. The Suns getting the bucket. Outside Thomas. To end the run. Now on the scoring column with that bucket. 1 for 2 this game.
This, to me, is one area where Isaiah Thomas is so effective. This guy is accurate and confident in the mid-range.
Dinwiddie kicks to LaVine. Poked away. Here's McGee. That one falls, coming off Dinwiddie's feet. Dinwiddie's got 3 assists now in this one. Baltimore trails by 9, and it's going to be out of bounds. Baltimore will retain possession. Right now, let's check out the standings in the Eastern Conference and see how the playoff race is shaping up. You look at the Celtics. They've been in peak form as we've watched them play some tremendous basketball with an eye toward the postseason. And, of course, there's Baltimore just way behind.
And, you know, for Baltimore, their season has been exactly the kind of misadventure their fans were afraid it might be.
And with the major changes we know are coming, now you have players fighting for their jobs, trying to prove they deserve to be here beyond the end of this season.
A nice shot by Barea.
Well, any point guard who involves his teammates is automatically going to raise the offense. Go ahead, IT. We see you with that pretty pass.
And finished off by Collins.
Oh, phenomenal alley-oop slam there.
They are taking advantage of a team that looks lost out there. Barea, the pass to Thomas. Misses the 3. And so it's Dinwiddie with it. He'll bring it up for Phoenix. Here's Durant, and that basket pushes the lead to double digits. Durant's got 6.
And guys, they've come out and established a rhythm. And also their play calling has been on point.
Yeah, I think that's exactly how they've built this lead. They played as one, shared the basketball, running their offense to perfection.
Mason kicks to Thomas. Over Durant. Offline from the top of the key. And so it's the Phoenix Suns. Their lead at 11 points to end the quarter. They're pounding the ball. The 5'9" Isaiah Thomas has made a career out of...
Ever since I was a little boy, I always...
Well, no question about it, Greg. Isaiah Thomas still plays with something to prove.
Definitely what drives him. I mean, hungry to show that he's a top player regardless of size.
And glad to have you with us, folks. Second quarter of basketball. This game has not exactly been neck and neck, but plenty of time left in this one. And for the Suns, this has been the game they wanted to have.
In that opening quarter, I don't know that you could ask for much more.
They've been simply outstanding, Greg, and let's see if they can build off this early lead.
On the court right now, second quarter starting for the Suns. John Collins is out there with JaVale McGee. Then it's Durant. Then it's Zach LaVine. And it's Dinwiddie in at the 1. Correa, the pass to Ulis. Can't connect from 13 feet out. Suns leading by 13. And when you watch Collins play, Greg, you just can't help but notice how athletic he is going to the rim.
Man, his hang time and ability to throw it down make him an ideal finisher inside. Very efficient because he's not only a strong finisher, but also enjoys attacking the rim. And does a great job, I think, of picking up misses, just being a pest for the defense.
Timeout is called. First of the game for Baltimore.
Yeah, the amount of points they've given up here in the paint, that's what they got to talk about.
I think they've got to ramp up the pressure. There's no excuse for letting them score at will in the paint. Make them feel you.
Here's Barea. Taking a look at his numbers, he averages about 7 points a game. Van Vliet kicks to Barea. Back to Van Vliet. And misses it off the right side of the rim.
You know, he's working on his inside game, but clearly there's still a little more work to do.
And he gets the basket. Officials blowing the whistle, so a chance at the line for one more. So we'll see Zach LaVine go to the line here. It's going to be on Tyler Ulis. The Suns have made their only other free throw attempt today in an earlier trip to the line.
And taking a look at the numbers on the season, they've converted about 77% of those foul shots.
To stop the run. There we go. Now in the scoring column with that make, he is 1 for 4.
And Ulis must take that shot and make it on a more consistent basis. When he does, the whole floor opens up.
Dinwiddie passes to LaVine. Out to the wing. In the corner, Collins with it. Clock at 4. From deep. Offensive rebound. Thomas against Durant. Dinwiddie kicks to LaVine. Second chance shot. Gets a hand on it. McGee. No good. Not a friendly rim at all this trip down. And yes, it's good.
Another bucket down low. They've been the aggressors, taking the ball inside and attacking at the rim.
Outside Thomas. 1:19 left in the first half. And here is Barea outside. And Baltimore hits again from deep.
Well, Tyler Ulis has an innate sense of when his teammates will be open. And if you do leave someone open, he'll make you pay for it.
LaVine wide open. That's good. And a nice assist from Durant. LaVine's got 11 points.
Well, this is the classic hot hand, right? If he can keep it up, their lead will be safe.
Here's Ulis. It's hauled in by the Suns. Collins has got 6 rebounds in the game.
Well, it's been an up and down quarter for him on the offensive end. Mostly down, though.
And it's Baltimore on the break. Now, here's Ulis. He's guarded closely. Now the pass to Barea.
Come on, shoot!
Kicks it to Thomas. And Baltimore again with the bucket.
Well, you have to stay attached
Isaiah Thomas, because in catch-and-shoot situations, this guy is ready to fire.
Here's Dinwiddie. He's usually able to provide some lift to his team, averaging 6 points a game. Outside Durant, fires for three. And so it's Phoenix riding a 15.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Out in front at the half is Phoenix. They lead by 15. Kenny?
Well, shooters were popping open right and left. Exceptional ball movement. Guys racing off screens, spotting up, knocking down shots. That's the way you play basketball unselfishly.
And
as we dive into the second half, we'll find out if the next two quarters are any different from the first two. So far, it has been a runaway. You look at Zach LaVine, he's really been playing well.
His points production thus far off the charts. It's only been 2 quarters, just a great effort for him for the entire half.
I don't think you could ask for anything more from this guy. He has been fantastic to start this one.
They've got Mason. He's out there with Ulis. J.J. Barea is out there with Isaiah Thomas. And it's Van Vliet in at the 4 slot. That's the group for Scott Brooks getting going here in the second half. Here's Durant. Softly drops in the floater. 10 points for him. Indoors for a long time, few people realized how efficient the three-point shot can be, the extra point making such a difference. Why do you think it took a while for that thought process to hold?
Well, I think obviously we have advanced metrics, and the reason we have advanced metrics is there are more ways to monitor the things that happen between the lines, right? There are cameras everywhere. We can track people's data via computer programs. But I think one of the interesting things to me, Kevin, is that Steph Curry really has changed the logistics of what defines a quality shot. Here's a guy who steps across half court, and when he does, he's in range. So the influence of Steph Curry cannot be understated.
Great example. And Baltimore calls time here. You look at Zach LaVine, he's really been playing well.
He's flat giving it to him right now, and this timeout is critical if they're going to stop his momentum. I think you've got to make some major defensive adjustments.
And let's take a look at the playmaking here. This chart with the assist totals split between the front court and the back court tonight for Phoenix.
You know, the play of their guards has been something to highlight. You love to see the backcourt contributing with the pass. When they're looking to make things easier for everyone, you see your bigs run the floor a little bit harder, and those things become contagious.
Thomas deciding where to go with it. Ulis can't get it to go.
Well, I wouldn't say the D was exceptional, but it certainly was enough to bother him.
Durant, that's good.
Marvelous start to the second half, 3 for 3.
Here's Van Vliet. He's guarded by Collins. Barea with a wide open look, and it's in after a nice bounce off the right side. Barea's got 7 points in the game. Dinwiddie passes to Collins. Inside. Dinwiddie kicks to McGee. Outside Durant. Another 3 for Phoenix.
They're getting a lot of their points outside the paint. 3 of their last 5 baskets are from three-point range.
The offensive prowess of Kevin Durant. We knew it even back in high school, but winning the NBA scoring title at age 21, Doris, that really sealed the deal.
Yeah, in fact, Kevin, becoming the youngest player to ever win a scoring title. He's obviously gone on to do it multiple times. And to me, where he's really advanced is his ability to make plays for the teammates around him. Kevin Durant prides himself on affecting winning at both ends of the floor.
Clock keeps going. 3 minutes into the second half now.
They're not going to get away with many mistakes like that on the defensive end. You got to get out on him right there.
And the jam by LaVine.
This guy's been unconscious all night. LaVine has the confidence and the skills to do this kind of thing nightly.
They need a bucket in a big way here to regain some confidence.
Van Vliet looking around. Shot's good from Mason.
If you're going in amongst the trees, you have got to be aggressive.
Well, he went all in there. He embraces the challenge and somehow finishes with the layup.
And that one's good. Durant.
And it just seems that every pass they make is leading to a score. Just great ball movement.
Now 8 seconds separating the two clocks. Thomas kicks to Barea. Outside Thomas. Back to Barea. Trying to answer back, but that three is off the mark. Outside Levine. And then Durant with the dunk.
Well, we know he's got takeover ability, and Kevin Durant is cooking right now.
The 3 quarters of play all in the books, and this one. And let's take now this moment to bring up our State Farm assist of the game.
And he's always been the favorite to bag this honor. These kind of feeds are his bread and butter.
Well, this is why, Greg, great point guard play is so critical in today's NBA, and you see it right there on display.
And with the 4th quarter upon us, time is running out for this game to become competitive. On Phoenix, looking who they've got on the floor. Jones is out there with Johnson. Then it's Zach LaVine. Then it's Durant. And it's Farrell in at the 1. Count that one. Johnson's got the first points up on the board here in the 4th for the Suns. Baltimore shooting 40% from the field. Now here's Thomas. He dishes it to Scott. To the middle. Here's Porter, and that one's drained from the low block.
Just using his size well close to the rim. Porter is outstanding at cashing in from those spots.
Farrell passes to Johnson. Outside for Durant. Doris, when you view international basketball, 13 and 14-year-olds playing in academies, some players turning pro overseas at 16, would something like that work in this country?
You know what, Kevin? I'm not necessarily for something like this. What I do believe is the NBA could become more involved across the board, and we should have more uniformity in basketball in general. And I think one of the ways to do that is to make sure we set up some sort of basketball committee across the different levels of basketball, starting with youth, going to high school, into college, then the semi-professional sort of basketball leagues out there, or the formative leagues like the G League, and then the NBA. I think we just need to look at the game in its totality and create some measure of uniformity. But frankly, I don't love the idea of 13 and 14-year-olds leaving their home to go to, quote, sport academies.
And he can smell blood in the water. Excellent finish.
I'll tell you, you've got to admire the energy. This guy really wants to put this one away.
And he could not get that one to go. A lot of contact, and he'll go to the line for 2. Watching Tyler Ulis, Doris, amazing some of the things that he can do at his size.
Yes, Kevin, he stands a mere 5'9", about $150 weight. And here's a guy who's always had to prove himself, right? That's why he drops to the 2nd round of the draft. But this guy is a true floor general in every sense of the word. Heart, will, determination, and leadership that coaches dream of.
And how about the strength from the big fella? Porter is used to having to power through contact.
JaVale McGee's checked in for Jones. Free throw good. Porter. Doris, for both charting game action and improving player health, the players now are being tracked by the player tracking devices or chips in their jersey during a game.
I love it, Kevin, because what it enables teams to do is measure the impact and the toll it can take on a player. For example, we now know that player X ran 5 miles on this particular night in this game action environment. And what that affords you is, okay, if you have a back-to-back situation, then you're going to be more careful with that player's minutes the next night. Or if it's an off day, Kevin, you can just say to that player, listen, unless we're doing a walkthrough, you're not involved. I want you off your feet and recovering. Anything that helps the competitive environment that these players are playing in, I'm all for it, Kev.
That was an excellent example. I like that. McGee's shot is off.
Yeah, that's just a missed opportunity. Something there just a little off.
Yeah, simply a little bit careless, I think. Can't just throw it up there. You have to time these alley-oops perfectly.
And guys, you got to ask, where was this effort when it mattered? The game's over now.
Right. Frustrating for sure, Greg. I don't think they'll be able to mount a comeback at this point.
Johnson kicks to Dotson. Pass to Johnson. Shoots over Scott. They get it back. Tries yet again. Trying to get open as Johnson. And the layup good by McGee.
And on the road, silencing the crowd. What a dominant performance.
Well, they took control of this game from the outset. A commanding all-around performance and an important road win.
Here's Thomas. Phoenix grabs the miss. And so it's Phoenix easily grabbing this one. This one was over well before the final buzzer. The fans were waiting for something to get excited about, Greg.
Word up.